Hello there. This is James, and you're watching OneRoyal, and it's live. In today's program, Trump buys a Tesla. As well as that, he also doubles down for double or nothing. Plus, we discuss how the market is licking its wounds after a very bad day for the US stock market yesterday. But before we get into all of that, don't forget these little videos are for educational. Start that again. These little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With it out the way, let's get started. So, anyway, I want to have a brief conversation with you, good people, because over the last couple of months, I've spoken a lot about Tesla. I wrote a lot of articles about them as well, where I saw something which I thought was a bit suspect about their current value. Now, I want to have an open question about it because the question I have to ask is, are we about to see one of the greatest comebacks of all time? I mean, literally, is Tesla's comeback on its way? Now, we all know that Tesla really benefited from the so-called Trump bump. Okay, Trump bump. As soon as Trump got in, the whole market went, well, Musk and Trump are like this. They're best buddies. Surely it's going to benefit Tesla. And like I said, it did indeed close in December the 17th, at a record high of $479 a share. But here's the thing, and this is where I wrote the article back in December, because I questioned that whether or not Tesla's share price was purely based upon, the anticipation, the excitement that Trump and him were best buds. But because maybe reality or the fundamentals hadn't kicked in. And year to date, that seems to be taking, really, having a big impact. Because year to date, the share price from Tesla since that high of 17th of December is down 40.52%. Alone yesterday, Tesla share price dropped in one day 15.45%. And here's the other thing. Tesla is no longer a part of the $1 trillion club. I mean, it's still not cheap, but it's no longer part of the $1 trillion club, which he was so proud to be of. And Musk himself, that's not 120 pounds, actually. That's a mistype. Musk has lost 120 billion of his own net worth. Not $120, 120 billion. My mistake. I mean, look, I'm not going to cry for him for losing 120 billion because he's still the richest man, in the world. He's still going to find some loose change in the sofa, no doubt. But, what is the reasons for Tesla's fall? Well, like I said, I do think a lot of it is down to the fundamentals. I think the reality of the intrinsic value is taking place. But because if you look at the fundamentals, okay, sales have dried up in Europe. They fell dramatically, especially in Germany, Tesla. And it's nothing to do about the EV market, nothing to do with that, because that went up. It was Tesla sales went down. And that's obviously down due to the fact that, obviously, Musk's political antics. And he did talk about, German politics, which obviously upset a lot of Germans as well. And his overall antics is, being frowned upon. It's been frowned upon. So it begs the question, okay? It does beg the question. you know, have they been here before? And the answer is yes. On the side note, just so you know, not to worry, because Trump is going to buy a Tesla today, apparently. He's going to buy a Tesla today in support of Musk. So hey, never not to worry. He's gonna buy a Tesla. So all is good. But no, all joking apart, going to my original point, Tesla has been in a similar situation before. They have. Now I remember back in 2022, when I had another live show and I used to cover market things like this. And at the time in 2022, Musk was purchasing Twitter, now obviously known as X. And because there was a lot of talk in the media, especially an argument between him, the CEO of Twitter at the time, discussions about the data being incorrect and, all this, and won't he buy it? It greatly affected Tesla's share price by a massive amount because of his distraction. And I have no doubt he's distracted now with obviously his political antics. But like I say, they've been here before. I don't think necessarily, like I say, the drama it's causing, it's the end of the story. No, I don't. I just think, and I'll tell you what I think when we have a look at the chart in a moment, because don't forget, Musk, for now, Tesla is for selling cars. Is for selling EV cars. And when they first started, it was very unique, very like, wow. But now there is a lot of competition from China in particular, but he doesn't want to position Tesla as that. He wants to position it as an AI company and not a car company, especially when he wants to move into robo-taxis and robotics, like robots you see in the movie, in the movie iRobot. In iRobot. So he wants to move into that sort of field. Now, I don't necessarily think, obviously there's economic concerns at the moment, and we'll talk a bit about those in a minute, such as tariffs, such as recession fears, stagflation fears, which is obviously hitting a lot of stocks. But I think the real reason why we're seeing this great big drop in Tesla is, it is because of that, but also I think it's reflecting its true intrinsic value as it is. Its true intrinsic value. That's possibly what the share price is reflecting, is what its real value is now, not the heightened excitement of the value we all thought it was going to be when he became best buds with Trump. But anyway, let's have a quick look at Tesla at the moment, and then we'll move on to some of the other stories I want to cover. So, like I said, currently today, okay, look, it's still licking its wounds from yesterday. Yes, we're up a little bit from yesterday's close at 2.59% currently. But again, it's still under pressure because the market at the moment is taking a breather, and we'll talk a bit more about what happened yesterday in a moment. But if we look at the longer term picture, this is when Trump excitement started. Okay, so because it's what was it? This is the 5th of November when Trump won. Okay, and then look at the excitement. Look at it skyrocket. And obviously then the reality set in. And now, where are we? We're back just a little below of where it was before the Trump excitement, before the Trump bump. So like I said, I think really realistically, yes, there's economic concerns weighing down on it. Yes, that's a big issue. But I also think realistically, we are looking at the true intrinsic value of Tesla at the moment. Potentially, that's what I think. I think we're seeing the true intrinsic value. Has it got more to fall? Potentially it has. But like I say, this is what I think has basically happened in a nutshell. Anyway, on another story. Another story. Of course, we always talk about him so much every day because it is part of, what's going on in the market. Um, Trump has announced today 50% tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminium. Yes, I said aluminium. That's how you say it. After Ontario hikes US electricity prices. So again, we're still in a full-blown, tit for tat type situation where he's doubled down on the tariffs originally on Canadian steel and aluminium. He's doubled it. Basically, he's doubled down on it. Don't forget, yesterday we spoke about Carney returning and his tough words, or what he said. Mark Carney, this is, of course, obviously becoming Canadian Prime Minister, and how we doubled down on his tough words against the Trump administration and this trade war. But Trump is obviously, we're going to see this. We're going to see shots fired across the bow between all of them while we're going through all this. Just so you know, this 50%, and we'll see how the market reacts tomorrow. I mean, for now, the market, like I say, we'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. It's still licking its wounds from yesterday. But I think obviously it's getting a little bit, is he going to go through with it? Is he not going to go through with it? Things like that. Anyway, that starts tomorrow. Going on to what happened yesterday and why the market, and we'll look at the market again in a minute, obviously, but the market currently is indeed licking its wounds from yesterday. It was a very bad day in the office. Okay, first off, the S&P 500 experienced its worst day since September. The Nasdaq experienced its worst day since 2022. Now, I know we spoke about Tesla losing or going down 15.45%. It wasn't the only one. It wasn't the only one yesterday to suffer. The Mag 7 or Magnificent 7, 7 of the largest companies in the United States who've been practically driving the bull run in the US, they had a very bad day also. Very bad day also. You had Meta down negative 4.42%, Microsoft down negative 34%, Amazon down negative 2.36%, Google down 5.52%, Apple down 4.85%, Nvidia down 5.01%. So a very bad day had by all yesterday. And of course, we'll look at how it's recovering now. Now, what's driving this? Well, there's several things which drove this. Obviously, first of all, we are obviously got the trade war concerns, obviously. But there's other words creeping, and I've done other live shows and other videos on this topic already. By all means, go back and have a look at some of the other episodes. You see, I've spoken about this previously. But, the word stagflation is coming in. Recession is being talked about. It didn't help yesterday that this chap, when asked about potential recession, he didn't deny it. He said, well, it's going to be a short-term thing, but we're going to experience it. So there is general fear about that and the impact on the market. So this is what is selling, putting a lot of pressure on the market. Because every day, don't forget, every day we seem to be having, additional sort of stories of trade wars or this tariff or that tariff. But it's the economic data underlying it. Okay, because don't forget, NFP on Friday disappointed. Not massively, but disappointed. That's 5 NFPs now. We've been slowly doing that. GDP or the projection for growth in Q1 is negative. Consumer confidence is extremely low. But it's the word stagflation. That's the thing. That's the thing I'm keeping an eye on. And this is why I want to talk about tomorrow. before we have a quick look at the markets, how it is at the moment. Because this is, I think, is the big event. If I had a bit more time, I would do a watch along on this. Okay, watch along. But this is the big one for this week, and this is what I think the market is going to be looking at. Today is all about licking its wounds, making itself feel better. But then tomorrow it's going to be about this US CPI. Okay, now expectation is for it to come at 2.9%. Previous number was 3%, and don't forget the previous expectation was also supposed to be 2.9%. So this is going to be pretty key, I think, because if we see seeing slightly creep up or higher than expected, then we might see panic. Set into the market once again. But anyway, let's have a quick look at how the market is, recovering a little bit today. All right, first off, let's start up the S&P 500. Okay, I mean, this is on the day. So down at the day currently is still down for the day. It's currently trading at 5,590 points. Not as dramatic as yesterday. And it's trying to find a little bit of a bounce. Where is it currently? We're currently negative 0.40% on the day. If you look at on a daily, this is what's, here's the thing, this is what I was always wondering about. A4, it is under that key level, that 200-day moving average. Plus, it is below the level it was before Trump got in. There's a lot of speculation that if it fell between that, Trump might change tax or try and give the market a boost. Because he used to in his first term. Anyway, he judged his performance on how well the stock market was doing. However, like I said, he said yesterday he's not even looking at the market. So I don't know. So this is the interesting thing. Nasdaq as well, like I say, slightly trying to recover on the day, but again, it's also below those two key levels, 200-day moving average. Volatility index, the VIX. Okay, it's still trading quite high, so 28. So again, still shows there's a bit of fear in the market. Gold, okay, gold is trading not at all-time highs, but still trading. Of course, it wouldn't be a broadcast if I didn't talk about gold. It's still trading around $2,918, so there's still a bit of safe haven on that. Before we look at the currencies, let's have a quick look at the Mag 7. Okay, so Tesla we've already looked at. Meta, again, slight recovery from the day. Microsoft, again, the same. Amazon, the same. Alphabet, the same. And Nvidia, the same, which is what you would expect after yesterday's bloodbath. If we have a quick look at the euro, because the euro has been enjoying a really good time of it at the moment. Okay. And don't forget, there's a lot of investors are actually looking at European stocks. Okay, instead of the US stocks. As well as that, as I said yesterday in yesterday's video, both JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs have increased their optimism for the European area. And don't forget, the EU and Germany are going to be investing a lot more money in defense and infrastructure. But this is giving the euro a big boost. Plus, we've got a weak dollar because of all the shenanigans going on. So currently trading at 1.09118. And the cable as well, British pound, US dollar is also, also having a good time. Currently trading, again, around a 4-month high as well against the dollar. Currently trading 1.2947. Again, this is mainly down to a weak US dollar. Anywho, so like I say, this week still to come. US CPI, like I say, tomorrow's a big one. But US PPI, don't overlook that. That's Thursday. That's important too. Bank of Canada interest rate decision and UK GDP. But the big one's got to be the US CPI, closely followed by the US PPI. Don't forget, you can talk and ask me questions because it's a live show anytime you wish. Just say hello if you like, or share me your opinion. Let me know what you think. What do you think about Tesla? Are we just seeing its true value? Has it got potentially more to fall? What do you think of the euro? What do you think of the stock market? Let me know your opinions. Well, ask me questions if you like, or simply say hi. You know, I mean, obviously, this is people watching me on YouTube, because the whole idea of these live shows is that we can share opinions and we can, share our opinions on our passion, which is obviously the markets, share our views, etc. You know, so or just say, just so we can build a sort of like a bit of a community. That's the idea behind it. Okie dokie. If there is no questions, which it doesn't look like it's the case, not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. If you're watching me on YouTube and you like this sort of thing, by all means, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button. So next time I'm going live, which is every day, by the way. I go live every day, sometimes more than once a day. And if you enjoy this sort of content and you've put up with me, give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what I do. If you're watching me on Twitter, and you like this sort of thing, give us a follow if you like. I think if you like it, give us, I think it's heart on Twitter, isn't it? It's Twitter, I'm old. X. Okay, it's called X now, I know. The other thing as well, if you're watching me not live, you're watching a recording of this, by all means, put a comment in the section below, ask me a question or leave me your point of view. I will see them and I will answer them next time I go on live. I'll go live, which of course will be tomorrow, where of course we'll talk about the US CPI. Okie dokie. In that case, if there is no questions, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.